now, so we could,
Yeah.
Now we could just say, listen, guys, if you want to see how the camera, like, and you could probably go back and change the title of it.
Yeah, I'll probably just do that later on.
Yeah, like something like preview to Thanksgiving show
No, right?
camera tutorial or something.
Stuff.
Yeah,
know, right?
Yeah. Something.
Yeah, that was wild.
Effect. But it's right there. It's like a few days. It's, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's right around the corner, bro.
Yeah, no. And I gotta like go back home Wednesday night and set up real fast because I'm down here doing some engineering work until Wednesday, and I'm 2 hours from home, so I ain't gonna be home till probably 7, 8 o'clock at night. I did get everything arranged while I was in Philly this weekend, photographing a wedding.
Yeah, I gotta show people some new drip.
Driptuation. Respect the healer.
Respect the healer.
The shoe. The shoe logo, not the shooter. Respect the healer, not the shooter.
Not the shooter.
Yep. What's good, y'all, for everybody coming back in? Sorry about the
here's the explanation. This is why. Look, this is why you're supposed to respect the healer, not the shooter.
Hold up, flex that a little more so we can see that first word.
Right. Okay, there we hold on.
There we go. All right. Hey. Genius lives matter. There we go.
Yeah. But the shirts are at, and you can look inside the collar there. You see what that say? Or right here, big.
Polyibic.
Polyibic.com. POLYIBIC.com for the family. Respect the healer, not the shooter. It's from our shoe line, just like the hat. You know what I'm saying? Just like the hat. It's from our shoe line.
The logo. The logo is the shoe. So it's the drip shoeation, right? Drip shoeation.
Hey, we gotta make sure we give some reverence to the God shoe up there. Let him do what he do. Right? People gonna go crazy. Oh my God, they did Illuminati ritual live witchcraft on Marv channel. What is Enqi doing?
Yo, it's funny. I was I'm rolling around different spaces for the past couple of weeks. The Illuminati joint's still popping hot. Like, I guess people got to go through that phase, right? Learning the whole Illuminati thing.
No. But that's always gonna be a thing because you're always going to have the bottom of any society is always the least educated and the most angry.
That's true. And so I was angry at one point.
We all are. Well, I'm still angry. Just the anger changes. You know what I'm saying? And how you express and articulate your anger changes. Right. Just like Kyrie's sentiments today, or was that yesterday? He did his 17th apology, I
put that man through it.
He missed 8 games. That's I mean, I've spent, for the family that been with me for a while, y'all remember the first I King book that I put out. You know what I'm saying? And we exhausted all science of mathematics in relation to the number 8. You know what I'm saying? So we I just think it's very significant, so I without, but the people that's, interested, you can go down that rabbit hole. You can look up the maybe start your search looking for the symbolic meaning of the number 8 in Judaism or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And you'll find some interesting food for thought to see, like, okay, so Kyrie was cut for 8 games. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, so it's a thing. Or it may not be. It may not be. It may just, it may not be, just conversation, food for thought.
Okay. 1 second. I'm letting the people over in the Facebook world know.
Yeah,
New
we over
link.
here and we not at the last video. Listen, people, I'm just going to drop dime on Marv right now. So we was live. We had 6,000 people watching Marv demonstrate how we going to do this thing on Thanksgiving. It was about 7,000 people in the live stream. We had the most people ever in the live stream just now. 10 minutes into the video, Marv is trying to demonstrate the other camera and somehow, whoop, end of live stream.
Yep.
So now he's trying to recapture the magic and let everybody know that was on, that it's probably gonna be like,
I know, right?
just the two of us. Nope. Osborne will be tuned in. Me, you, and Osborne watching.
There we go.
Everybody else can be like, yo, what happened to the video? Why y'all shut down after 10 minutes? Like, bro, we was on live for 2 hours. Stop it.
I know, right? Like, yeah, we was actually, you came in at the end of it. Like I said, it started at 4. Well, you're supposed to divide that by 2. Like, all right, we rocking now. Google me. What, I just hit 800 subscribers. I haven't checked in a few days, so that'd be great. Respect the healer.
Right. Did we do that on this live or the last one?
We did it on this one. Yep. The new driptuation. Respect the healer, not the shooter. And always remember, genius lives matter. The sleeve game.
Man, yeah. That, because we want to make sure that we try to use all of the potential. So the idea is this. We understand now that fashion is art and statement. We understand fashion is art.
Right.
We understand art speaks to the psyche and the emotional body. So we want to start now being able to look the way we think. And that's what it's about at polyibic.com, giving people the opportunity to look the way we think. Because a lot of us are highly intelligent, highly refined, but we dressing in the same clothes as John Q. Savage. And, as we begin to design more of our own and support more of our own, we'll be able to bring that consciousness out and people will be able to just see it from a distance. So right. Poly means many. Ib is the Kemetic word for heart. So to be polyibic is obviously, a metaphor for expansion of the heart. You know what I'm saying? And so
expansion of the light.
Yeah. Then we actually came up with the term in our morning big mouth language training classes, and then we switched into the language of the cells for the American Healer documentary, and we just kind of like stuck in here with the language of the cells. And so actually tonight I might talk about some of that. Let me make a mental note to myself, because I got a live tonight where I'm going to be going in on Dr. Sebi diabetes herbs.
Okay.
So I will definitely make sure that's the language of the cells, because a lot of discoveries that I've made, like 100%. People think that when you say you discovered something, they think that means that you don't have predecessors or that you're not giving credit to your predecessors. As long as you name your predecessors and give them glory, etc., then you're always, even if you don't mention them in your own light because you're celebrating your discovery, but your discovery is based on the studies of your predecessors. So those is foundation. You know what I'm saying? So when I talk about the language of the cells, a lot of what pushed me to get deeper into what was going on at the subcellular level was listening to the OG saying intracellular chelation. You know what I'm saying? Now, Mr. I don't read books. You know what I'm saying? Like when Mr. I don't read books pop out with intracellular chelation, you got to go, hold on now. People that don't read books, they don't have vocabularies that's that expansive.
Right.
Typically. Right? You see what I'm saying? So I knew from like one of the clips that I posted, or people will see it later if they haven't seen it on Instagram anywhere. But there's a clip of Dr. Sebi talking about, you know, back in the days, we didn't really need to understand biochemistry, but now, you know, you have to understand biochemistry in order to eat like a regular healthy person, which is part of it. Yeah, which is the part of the reason why, like right now, we got the free biochemistry school. You know what I'm saying? That was largely inspired by me studying Sebi and hearing like, oh, okay, so I don't read books. He says that a million times. And if you're a surface level student and you don't really watch a bunch or hear, you know, you might miss the one or two times, you know what I'm saying, where he mentions the fact that you need to know biochemistry in today's, you know, in today's time to be able to just eat healthy, because there's so much gobbledygook out there. You know what I'm saying? So,
Got a question from Ali in the chat. He said, how important is it to supplement, especially if you're plant-based?
Yeah, no, that's a bad, how important is it to supplement? So here's why. So what I would say to that is this. It's not even, yeah, I'm like stuck for words trying to.
It's one of these things. Yeah, it's
no. Hold on. I got what I want to say. I'm just trying to communicate it properly without being too over the top. But so it's not, when you use the term important, right? It's like my puppy. You know what I'm saying? If I'm taking her for a walk, it's important that I remember to grab the poop bags. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important that I remember to grab the poop bags, because if not, I'm gonna be stuck out there and either have to leave the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody
or I'm
gonna
gonna have to use something around to, you know, like, or I'm gonna have to double back and get, you know, and it. So it's important that I remember the poop bags.
Right.
But I wouldn't say that it's important that I remember to breathe.
Right.
you see what I'm you see what I'm saying? Like, it's because that was a really good, it seems basic, but that was an awesome question. That was a really good question. So I want to make sure that people understand what I'm saying. You can't
separate important from imperative.
Woo. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Shit, this is the part of the song where the beat supposed to drop and the bass supposed to hit, bang. So you feel, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like it's this, you can't be alive if, like, you know, not that long, or really, well, like you have to. This is the food is devoid of nutrition. Okay. And unfortunately, I got to be honest with y'all. That's why not that many people like me as the other people. It affects my business. It affects a lot of things. But when I died and my heart stopped, me and God kind of made like a little deal for me to get back. So I can't really BS everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't play with this. You know what I'm saying? So I can't smudge it for you guys. Like, this is just what it is. You know what I'm saying? The food, all of it is devoid of nutrition. Let's rephrase that. Your body on a daily basis requires more nutrients than the food that you will consume is able to provide. Let's try that again. No matter which diet you're on, I see you keto, I see you paleo, I see you, I see you alkaline, electric, pH, melanin, carbon, organic, raw, fresh, non-GMO, you know what I'm saying? Celiac disease secure, like.
Yeah, key term shoppers.
And guess what? Even that person has to supplement their diet. There is no. When Dr. Sebi fasted,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll take it.
Hold on. That might be something that somebody might need to look up in the chat. What is the past tense of fast?
I'm saying fasted.
I'm rolling with fasted, but it doesn't feel right. So we'll have somebody, somebody can check it on the side. But
they probably would manipulate the sentence back when Dr. Sebi was on this fast.
Right,
but
when people,
they might just manipulate it. Mm-hmm.
People know of Sebi doing long fasts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but during those fasts, people forgetting that he was taking the herbs.
Right.
So it's not like Dr. Africa, you know what I'm saying? Me and Dr. Africa had like a small little 5-minute beef. Me and Dr. Africa had a few.
It's funny because that's a hell of a guy to have a beef with.
Misunderstandings. You know what I'm saying? Me and Dr. Africa had a few misunderstandings. Nah, Dr. Africa was live, bro. Dr. Africa was alive. Like,
yeah.
Man, for all of y'all people that's just getting into consciousness, like online, come out to see us. We're going to be in Atlanta. Me and Killer Priest. We're going to try to really bring this back and rejuvenate this. Shout out to Do the Knowledge Radio. We're going to try to take this city to city to city. But go to Eventbrite, type in my name, Dr. Enqi, or go to Eventbrite and type in Killer Priest. Get your tickets. Come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going down. It's going to be hot.
All right.
But
what is that?
You guys,
what's that link again?
Eventbrite? I don't know. It's not a link. It's just anything Eventbrite. Right. But I'm saying the people that are just getting conscious online, right? You guys don't have the culture part. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all missing the dealing with people one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to have those memories. Like, I know people like to hear me go into, sometimes when I'm happy, remembering something, or when I'm complaining, cussing somebody out, like, people like to hear me give those firsthand accounts of, and you know, Polite did, you know, whatever, or, you know, you guys got to spend your money. Now, let me say this right now. Hold on. Put me on the screen. I need them to see me focus real quick.
All right, I'll come back to it
to see this. No, just let that stay there, but put me up.
Sorry. Give me 1 second. Get my screen back together. Here we go. All right.
Okay. Because I want people to understand this. Back in the days, no, back in the days, Miss Paulette, rest in greatness, bless her soul, bless her progeny forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, bless her bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful woman. One of the people in my neighborhood, you know, she saw my mom struggling with drugs, and you know, she'd see me looking away, and before she see me go left, she'd be like, "Hey, you want to make some money real quick?" You know what I'm saying? And making money with her was helping her to fold her scarves, helping her to put her scarves in the bins, carry the bins to the truck, and she was known all throughout, like everywhere. Well, I don't know. Maybe I was a little kid at the time, so everywhere might really just be New York. Everywhere might really just be like New York, New Jersey, or whatever. But the scarf lady, you know what I'm saying? Like she was, you know, so she was in the circuit and she would set up her table at all the conscious events and stuff like that. And I had other family that was plugged into various stuff. But, you know, so like that, I got young experiences. And then as I got older, you know, I was just having a job somewhere, maybe, you know, a little few dollar hustle or whatever. And I was spending my money out of, you know what I'm saying? Like times it was rough to, you know what I'm saying? It's still rough right now, but I'm saying in that sense where I'm going to find this information. I'm going to the bookstores. I'm going to old rare bookstores. I'm going to everybody lecture that's coming to town. If they even come into a town, like that's how I started to get hip to Philly because Black and Nobel, shout out to Hawk and you know, Black and Nobel, you know, a lot of things happen in Black and Nobel people. But
Yeah.
overall, I'm gonna say this. Um Hawk did a lot of good for the neighborhood overall, a lot of good for the neighborhood, and a lot of good for Philadelphia. And he touched a lot of people and gave a lot of people a lot of opportunities. So shout out to Hawk. Shout out to Black and Nobel. Um, but you know, I started hearing stuff, and then so I'm like, oh, wait a minute, Black and Nobel is 2 hours away. So if they got somebody coming, you know, talking Black and Nobel, I could just jump on a little $10 China bus, uh, $20 at the door, Black and Nobel, bang. You know what I'm saying? Now you might spend, well, who knows what you might spend. That's the one thing about the conscious community lecture. If you should walk into that place, it's a wrap. You better pay all your bills before you go to the conscious community lectures. Mm-hmm. Pay all your bills before you go there. You're not leaving with $1. You're not leaving with $1 because everybody got something on their table. First of all, they're gonna hit you with all that queen and king and God and all that other bullshit. And then they're gonna start breaking down some shit that you know what I'm saying? They're gonna start connecting with you and shit. So now you want to patronize the business because you want to reciprocate the energy that you got back from the person. Because literally at the conscious, this is back in, I don't know how it is now. It's raggedy right now. We're trying to restore it. You know what I'm saying? So give us a minute. Work with us. Work with us. Yeah, work with us. We're gonna restore it though. But all of the teachers used to be at everybody else's event. It wasn't none of this ego tripping shit that's going on now. All of the teachers used to be at everybody's event. So if Ali was speaking, even if we had beef, I'm coming to Ali's event and I'm paying. People are like, oh, you getting in free. No, I'm not really getting in. We didn't really get in free. Y'all thought we got in free. We didn't get in free because we didn't pay at the door. We didn't pay at the door because we're paying to have a table. So we're paying way more than you paid at the door to get in because we paying to get a table. But all the speakers went to everybody else's joint. Even if you had beef, you still came to do your business because, you know, it's a study, it's philosophy, it's about uplifting the people and all that. But at the same time, these are people's business, livelihood. This is how they take care of their family, or maybe they got a 9 to 5, but this is how they supplement their income. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a game. You know what I'm saying? So everybody came out to support everybody else, because when you went up, you wanted everybody to come out to support you. And
Right.
even and all the vendors, like I said, is teachers. So they all have an audience. So everybody lectures was always hot, because you might not even know who's teaching. It might be Joe Schmo from around the corner. King Simon.
Yup.
King Simon. One thing about King Simon, and me and King Simon had our, but one thing about King Simon is King Simon will bring in some new, he'll bring in some new energy. You know what I'm saying? He'll put it on you, you know what I'm saying, regardless to how well it take or not, you know what I'm saying. Same thing with Sa, you know what I'm saying. The other guys are not really like that, you know what I'm saying. Like back in the days, you had Shabazz, you had you still got Rich, you know what I'm saying. These guys, those is close knit. You don't penetrate them circles, you know what I'm saying, and that's the only way you get on those cameras. Sa, King Simon, you never know who might be on those cameras. They give everybody an opportunity. If people like it, then you'll be seen a little bit more. If not, then you'll vanish. You know what I'm saying? Or unless you get on somebody politic and then they blackball you off, then you got to scrap. Then you got to scrap, go for what you know. But point being, everybody went to everybody's events. You know what I'm saying? And so now, it's just not that same, but you gotta support, you know what I'm saying? Because it was tough back then, struggling, but and those times, being in the audience in those places was just as important, sometimes maybe even more, than the information that I heard on, from the lecturer or whatever, from the speaker. You know what I'm saying? Those relationships, being able to touch them people, talk to the, my children, being able to have my children growing up and have that as a part of their memory bank. You know what I'm saying? So they remember running around with. So one thing I learned, moving around in different circles, right? I hope y'all are right at home. You know what I'm saying? We getting ready to, but one thing I learned moving around in different circles in life was that because I couldn't figure out the school thing. I know we seem like we're jumping around, but I couldn't figure out the school thing, and I was trying to figure out like what the value of like different tuitions was every month. You know what I'm saying? Like, and forgive me if I look away. When I look over here, guys, just know I'm looking at my computer. You guys are here. My screen is here to see Marv. You know what I'm saying? And the comment board. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to understand, like, what was the different, like, were the children learning a different curriculum? You know what I'm saying? Like, and if they were, how different was it? Because there was like an infinite number of different tuitions that you could be paying, all the way up to the schools that the kids, that parents are millionaire. Like, I'm like, what is it that these kids are, so you start to see in the lower ranking schools, like the difference is usually just school hygiene. So it's just like how the school looks, the quality of books, blah, blah, blah. As you start to get to the upper echelon, more expensive schools, you're not paying for anything different. The curriculum's all the same. The books all whatever. Maybe they using tablets or whatever. Like they all up to date. Super, what's the difference? What you're paying for when what them parents is paying for when they send their kids. And this is one of the things that John Q. Public may not be hip to. But what those people are paying for, and they're verbal about it, and they're teaching it to their children, and they're so it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, listen, what we're paying for is the network. I'm paying so that my kid grows up in a school with Elon Musk's kid or with Kanye's kid, or, so by the time my kid is 20, he's friends with the other children that are going to be running the world. So when you taking your children places consistently, understand that you're positioning your child in the world in the future, right? Because like me, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm I be having my struggles, you know what I'm saying? Because bless her soul, you know what I'm saying? I love my mom. I talk to my mom all the time, but my mama was on drugs, welfare, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of my friends dead, jail, you know what I'm saying? Some still on the block. Like it's so it took a lot for me to get to where I am personally because it was a solo journey against all odds. You know what I'm saying? Me and I can't say solo journey because it was a duet. You know what I'm saying? Just me and God. So but having my children around all the time, you know what I'm saying, for better or for worse, they will know the other children that's at these events, so they'll have that in common later when they get older. They'll be like, oh, you remember back in 2000, whatever, or, we was at that'll be their network, so
Right.
that's the type of thing that you want to start doing with your family, et cetera, even yourself. And you want to understand that where you hang out in 10 years, that's your network will spring from that place, wherever that is. So if you want to see yourself with, basketball players, you want to kind of seed yourself in a soil of basketball players. So in 10 years, you won't know anything but basketball players. So chances are, if you need something, you'll be able to find what you need in the basketball world because you know most of the people there, and that's the
Yep.
same way it is with everything
That
else.
was that is a big deal. Like I don't know. I can't say that's the reason why I did it. I just like the energy of going to the events. But yeah, that's definitely true. Like when you just go and be in them circles, when you get older, it's easier to be in them circles with them peoples. So, and I'm the type of person where I wake up early. If an event is going on, I want to be there. Is it for those of y'all in the chat, if y'all ain't gone to events like that, or if you ain't been to none, the energy is definitely different.
Shout out to George Macon up in the building.
I know, right? Playing games in the chat. Yeah, but and I'm being a photographer, moving around movie sets and all kinds of stuff like that. I'd have been to culinary classes. I'd have seen police trainings. I'd have seen people at the airport.
Hold on. Ain't no Hennessy in this thing. He said, who drinking Hennessy? Me drinking Hennessy or you drinking Hennessy? This ain't no
No, he
Hennessy.
said what? He said, "What's that Hennessy?" He talking about this.
Mm.
Because if y'all go to the market, y'all know this sits next to another brand, and that brand has the filtered water in it. This one does not.
Yeah, it's some Hennessy
This
in
one
there.
has one thing. He said it's Hennessy in there.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yep. Single ingredient. You buy grape juice, buy grape juice. 100%. Because back in the day, all we did was grow up on everything. We go to the corner store, right? And this number right here, that joint would be like 10%.
Right. Yeah, exactly. 10% juice. 10%
Yep.
juice. It's 100% drink. That's a
Yep.
grape drink.
Yep. You look at that
You're like,
joint,
wait a minute.
10%. You go to the sugar joint, you'd be like, yo. Like the other day, somebody asked me to pass him a soda at a company event I was at. So I passed him a soda and I'm looking at the joint on the back. And that joint said 72 grams of sugar in a 16-ounce drink. I was like, yo. And I was like, I swear I feel like it doubled since we were young. Yo,
Yo,
when we
that
was
shit is
younger,
like,
I swear I feel like it doubled since we were young because it used to be
no,
between like
listen, that shit is
24 and
like, listen, let me
36.
tell you, here's the number that people need to know. Right? See,
Should I
this
see
is
if I
how
could
people,
guess? Should I see if I can guess? Don't
this is
guess.
how people get shit twisted. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you guys out there, Y'all into a lot of personality worship, and y'all don't understand that you need to learn from somebody who doesn't just have information, but the person is seasoned with using the information. And they learned from a credible way, a system source person where they not just fly by night with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What you reading something?
I'm just leaving it there.
You still gotta give them the number.
No, bro. I'm just leave it there, man.
Just leave it there.
It's gonna take me down a bad rabbit hole, man.
Okay.
Trying to behave myself on your platform. I don't want you to get in no trouble.
All right.
You know, when I come over here and say crazy things, you get hot over here.
I get hammered, and it's like I gotta put up the disclaimer, like the views and opinions of the people who come on the platform.
They don't care about that.
They don't even care. They be like, why would he let him? I'm like, I'm kind of one of those, like, it's not my point of view. I'm just here for the ride. Like, if you want to know my point of view, just ask. Like, but if you come on here and you got something to say, I'm like, I feel like the world progresses when people say what they got to say, and we deal with it.
My sentences sometimes are like Jekyll and Hyde, because my mind still has like a rhythm. Like my mind is still hip. It's like rap is in my mind. Like it doesn't matter what I'm thinking. It's like in bars. So right. I could see it sometimes, way down. And I'm like, ooh. So it could be like a line that's seemingly innocuous. Like it could be like a roughly safe place, and then two or three lines down, the left turn that we get ready to take. I'm like, I think I should stop here. Let me just read
really back.
Yeah, I'm just.
While y'all in the chat, make sure if you're in the chat, it looked like a lot of y'all have already. Make sure you hit the like button. Share the stream with anyone else you think who should hear, because obviously we about to get into the Thanksgiving segment, right?
That's actually how we got the broadcast coming up later. I'm doing a special broadcast tonight, a special breakdown tonight on American Healer channel. People, if you're not subscribed to that channel, you need to subscribe to the American Healer YouTube channel. But tonight I'm doing a special video because of some context to some of my posts on Instagram. I got some very choice phone calls, text messages, and so I was like, oh, hey, calm down. Everybody relax. I'll give you guys some more context, you know what I'm saying? Because I had put up a video, a little clip. I'd be in the middle of my ranting and raving, and I was just really explaining to people my own personal journey. And,
right.
It'd be my honesty and my passion. When they mix together, I get in trouble, and anybody around me gets in trouble. You know what I'm saying? But basically, there's a clip in one of the shows where I'm just like, listen, when I was explaining earlier, you know what I'm saying? You got to buy these tickets and support these lectures and all that. It can get pricey. So when I'm out there doing my ones and twos, now, mind you, I always been a self-made man, meaning I always take care of me and mine. And that doesn't mean like we always, driving or wearing whatever, or, sometimes it's ramen noodle time. Like it's whatever it is. But I 10 children, none of their mothers has ever wondered if I was going to take care of my children financially. They never. Like if I got 25 cents, at least 11 cents coming towards you. Something, so that's because that's just how my father raised me. You know what I'm saying? So my passion gets me in trouble. I posted a little clip where I was talking about people with these expensive Dr. Sebi herb packages. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just Dr. Sebi herb packages. There's a lot of herbalists. They got their own expensive herb packages because of the blueprint that's there. You know what I'm saying? And a part of how I came up with the Blue Magic gel and the bitters was trying to find, you know, like personal solution for my own budget. You know, I raise all these children. My children's mom is a debt, you know, like she doesn't help, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's not like the people from her side, the family, or just people like it's me and them, you know what I'm saying? So I'm explaining like, yo, you know, and I'm not a sucker. What I mean by not a sucker is you got a lot of people that suckers with it. You know what I'm saying? You got men out there, they got children. These niggas eating, you know, vegan burgers and kale salads, and, you know, they taking Biento and Mama Tonics, and, you know, they getting supernova shit, and they, you know, they got all of this, the top of the line fly shit that the community can offer. They getting Mama Tonics from Enqi. They getting, you know, what KT got. They getting KT ionic shit. They getting supernova green powder shit. They, you know, they going to see my man Asa, you know. They getting their kids Happy Meals, though. They getting the kids is getting Happy Meals. They getting the kids Lunchables. See, that's sucker shit to me. I can't rock like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm getting the top of the line fly shit, the baby's got to have that same level of, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm getting $1,000 herb package, my nigga, how much healing can really happen inside my house?
You could tell easily what children were raised under in terms of food, because the moment, like for instance,
but wait. I want you to really get this math though.
Go ahead.
If I got to get $1,000 herb package to get some healing going on for the folks in my house, there's 8 of us in here. I need $8,000 a month to buy herb packages to have basic nutrition. Like, no, come on now. That's just not even possible for average John Q public. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're dealing with rich folks, celebrity, whatever, they might be able to drop $5,000 a month on their herb bill. Mm-hmm. The people I deal with and talk to every day, these people, some of them don't make $5,000 a month consistently. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot of money. $5,000 a month is $60,000 a year.
All right.
That's got to be disposable income. So that means that a person that can afford to buy $60,000 a year worth of supplements, they must make at least $200,000-$300,000 a year to be able to afford their lifestyle and then do that like that on the side. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a couple of folks, you know, like I got some choice folks. I mean, I got a lot of, you know, people that was like, man, that was honest. I needed to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
Mike Carter's asking what would be your current baby formula with your current herbal list. So I guess if he's going to drenqi.com, what would be, or, you know, is there something he can mix at home or something from drenqi.com and something at home to get the baby formula?
Hold on. That's just, I might be looking at stuff all over the place. Hold on, man. Let me see what Mike talking about. This is what Mike talking about right here. I'm trying to find it. See, I'll be posting too much. I'll be doing too much on IG, bro. I got to get my life together.
IG is my spot, though.
All right, hit the share button. This is what Mike Carter talking about right here. That's my grandson right there. You see, he got his bottle right there with the blue magic in it. That's my young king right there. That's my grandson. His name really is King, though. It's not like slang, it's not his handle. It's
Right.
AKA, his alias. His name is King. And he said, buy his grandpa Moss at drenqi.com. And don't forget to refresh the payment screen. Don't text my grandpa and say, I couldn't put in my payment information. It froze on me. No, you didn't refresh the screen. So refresh the screen and you'll be good. Until my grandpa can afford to change his website again and get rid of that bogus ass fake security thing on there. It was sounded like a good idea when I was updating my website to add the security feature to the checkout. And then that's like the security feature from hell. Now I can't get rid of the feature and people just don't even understand it. They're like, yo, your website's broken. They can fix it. I'm like, no. Just refresh the payment screen. It's good. You're good. Now I got to like make that a part of my, hey, drenqi.com, and don't forget, refresh the payment. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah. But no, with the blue magic gel, just a tiny, man. You know what I need to show people you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show people tonight. I'll actually show tonight what I mean with how little amount you could put in a child's bottle, depending on their age, and make your own little home, your home little formula mixture. Because a lot of conscious folks, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of conscious folks are trying to raise their babies conscious, and they're doing some dangerous stuff out there. All these herbs and tonics and all that is not supposed to go to these babies. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And all of this stuff is not supposed to go to lactating moms either. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll mess up the breast milk. And then you be at home wondering why your baby don't want to drink the breast milk no more. And it ain't that milk ain't coming. It's just that the baby don't like the taste of it no more, so they're not going to keep sucking. And if they stop sucking for a day or two, then the breast milk will start slowing down how much is coming from the breast. So, but yeah, we definitely can moss it up. We can definitely moss it up, and I'll share a formula replacement with folks. But we really should not be thinking formula replacement. Like, that is not it. So I'm always going to be giving everyone a reminder that we never want to replace formula. We never want ladies to make excuses about formula either. And we don't care about your job. Just be honest. I don't know, because you might have a nice man at home, ladies. If there's ladies watching, I'm just going to be honest and speak for the men that can't speak for themselves. And they might be sitting right next to you like, babe, I don't think like that. He's lying to you because he don't want no smoke. The truth is, we don't care about nothing you got going on in your life when you pregnant for us. We just care about your health and the health of the baby. That's it. We don't care about your friends at work, the last time you hung out. We don't care if your job getting ready to fire you. We don't care about none of that. We actually just want you to relax and take care of that baby. So all these stories about you getting back to your school, you getting back to your job, you getting back to this, you should have thought of that before you got pregnant. Yo, ain't that crazy? If the person that got you pregnant say you should have thought of that before you got pregnant. But ladies, let me tell you, the women that have carried babies for me, woo, they'll tell you. He told us you should have thought of that before you got pregnant. Because you have signed an invisible contract with me. And now your body is mine for the next 9 months. And then from there, we are on a 50-50 deal for the following 2 years after that 9 months. Because that is what you really should be shooting for in terms of breastfeeding out there, people. 2 years. Yeah. want to try to breastfeed for 2 years. It's good for the baby's brain development. So the baby has complete full brain development, and their nervous system fully develops, and also for a woman's inside to fully heal up. Part of that is going through the motions of breastfeeding. So for your body's chemistry to heal and regenerate itself and put your body back the way it was before the baby rearranged your insides, it's almost like this is going to be crazy, weird sounding, but just try to understand there is some philosophy in there, right? But it's almost like a woman's breast is like keyboard. And, you know, data entry, you know what I'm saying? And so you put that data in and, you know, slowly but surely, you know, it's a lot that goes on though. That's what I'm saying. The magic of childbirth, like I'm not a fan of nothing else but natural baby having. Like, I mean, obviously I'm pro hospital, doctors, all that. So I'm not a do it yourself, you know, but what I mean is I'm not a fan of IVF, test tube, like none of that. I believe that from start to finish, there are a lot of intangible things that goes on. The pheromone exchange between the mother and the father while the child is developing. This is something that's not discussed. You know, they say things like, oh yeah, the stress of the mom, and you know, they was art, you know, but they don't really understand the biochemistry behind what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? But the pheromone exchange, you know, there's just a lot of different things that's going on. You know what I'm saying? We leave it there. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot.
Somebody asked, was a C-section detrimental? I don't know under what guise it was asked. Like if they were saying they had one done and is it detrimental, or is a C-section detrimental?
I had one. Yeah, I had one. Well, I'm about to start sounding like natural Tahuti. No, I did not have one, but one of my children. Here's the thing with the C-section, right? So is a baby at less advantage C-section than a natural birth? Absolutely. The vaginal canal provides maybe 40% of a baby's immune system. So if the baby doesn't come down that vaginal canal, that's missing. And the baby all throughout his life is probably going to have a challenged microbiome. And any of the things that your body depends on your microbiome for, like immunity, like secondary vitamin metabolites and things like that, your body will have to get elsewhere because because you came from a C-section. If you don't breastfeed, or if you get less breastfed, your brain will be less developed. You know what I'm saying? These are just facts. You know what I'm saying? The more you breastfeed, the more developed the brain is. And then once the child is about 2 years old, now it's about pouring into the child in terms of teaching them daily, exposing them to new words and new concepts and new patterns. That is going to carry on the development of the brain until they're about 6 or 7 years old. You know, at that point, their developmental stages is pretty much complete. And now hormones is taking over in terms of just running that machinery and, parental, parent, whatever habits you done structure for them and whatever the school and all that. You know what I'm saying? But those is the things. So a lot of times, and what forced me to look at it like on a whole nother level was when I opened up a school, cleaning up Marcus Klein mess. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people know Marcus Klein. He's a beautiful man. You know, his work out in Chicago with opening up the schools, black schools for black babies. But he came here to Detroit and he made a promise to the city And me and my partner, Mark, different Mark, was going to back it up. You know what I'm saying? Because Marcus Klein, he do all his shit in Chicago, but Marcus Klein is from Detroit and he ain't do shit in Detroit. So he was like, you know, and this is not me saying nothing, you know, this is what he said to us. He was like, damn, you know, I feel away because I ain't do shit in Detroit yet. And, you know, we got the Chicago kids is like lit. And I know because I've been to the school, you know what I'm saying? I taught there. He let me teach there and all that. So that's how we had a relationship, you know what I'm saying? So I seen firsthand his effect and teaching method and all that, like how effective it was. So later on, when he like, yo, I want to, you know, I feel away because I haven't opened up a school in Detroit. I want to open up a school in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I fuck with Enqi. So, you know, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? And so we started the promo, the campaign and blah, blah, blah. And then he had a tragedy in the family. You know what I'm saying? So as much as I'm mad that he left us hanging, I personally understand the tragedy in the family and understand what that could do to a man. Because people handle things differently. And certain people are more attached to family and the concept of family. So if something happens in their family, it's going to affect them more. So anyway, long story short, it's the first day of school and we don't have no furniture, no books, nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I went and bought there was another school here in Detroit that was going out of business. So I went and bought basically everything that the school, you know, like all the books, the chairs, everything that was in the school, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't take donations to do it. You know what I'm saying? I spent the herb money, you know, my kids' food, my bill money on that, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, just, you know, it was like, all right, well, shit, we got to wish our best to Marcus Klein. Hopefully it's fair, you know, hopefully that shit goes, you know, but we got 40, you know, we got like 40 kids. Yeah, we got 30 kids out front the building. And what are we going to tell these kids? Because they're, by the time it's first day of school, your parents have already made decisions that have locked them into a course of action. They need your butt in a seat somewhere. So me and Mark had to do it. We had to do the scramble at the last minute and whatever. Long story short, though, from having that school and being a teacher and dealing with the children and the parents and just understanding the educational system as a person trying to be an educator from inside the system, doing my own whole everything, I understand the challenges that the teachers face on a different level. Because one thing to say, man, the teaching system and the teachers and the suburban white ladies and all the other shit, but you ain't never really been a teacher. So you have no idea what it is for 20 kids to be dropped off on you. You're the only one in the room. You got 20 kids to manage. You the teacher. Now, these raggedy ass parents then dropped off these kids. 5 of these kids stink. They don't even smell good. 5 of these kids smell bad. 2 or 3 of these kids got on shoes that's probably 2 or 3 sizes small for them because they family going through whatever. So it's not even physically possible that those kids can sit still in the class. So I could say, hey, sit still. Hey, don't do this and don't do that. And I'm going to write you up and do this. But I understand because I used to be that bummy kid with nothing, hand me down and all that other shit. So I could look at a kid and be like, ooh, I got you. We're going to get you together. Matter of fact, lunchtime today, we're going across the street to the thrift and we're going to go to the little, let me get you together and get the kid. You know, we pitch in, me and Margo, whatever, you know, a few dollars, get you some shit, you know. All of a sudden now we got a nice student. He chilling. He's a kid, you know, like, so stuff like that, though, I'm realizing. And then, you know, I made the requirement at the school. The parents couldn't feed the kids. Well, at first it was they had to feed the kids healthy. That was Mark's idea. He was like, yo, we're not letting them feed these kids just anything and then bring these kids like ticking time bombs to us type shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we rolled with at first. But Mark had the kids like after me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting the kids early in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And no. The parent trying to get the parents to feed them healthy, it just wasn't working out. I told her, I was like, listen, stop feeding these kids. Don't feed none of these kids no more. I want all these kids here on an empty stomach. bring me a few dollars. Let the kids have $2-3 in their pocket when they get here. We'll get them together. You know what I'm saying? Because they had little food places up above where we had the school at. And so they didn't even sell no good stuff. We had to work with the restaurant to get them to start selling vegan options. Then, I had to start making smoothies at home, packaging them, and bringing it to the restaurant for the restaurant to sell to, the teachers, the parents, the students, the other people that had businesses. Was like, hey, what is that? Oh, y'all got vegan stuff? You got. So we got the whole building going crazy and healthy and,
got to work it out.
But my point is, long ass story, right? That got me into just studying brain development and what it was going on with these children, because these children all had beautiful souls, but some of these kids was 12 years old and couldn't spell the word sun. They couldn't spell the word earth. They didn't know when it was time to use a capital letter and a lowercase letter. You know what I'm saying? These is kids that's 11 and 12 years old. That's scary.
Yeah, that's very far behind.
That's scary. And some of these parents was conscious. That was even scarier. I realized firsthand that the internet is a wild place. And that although while they might also watch me, I don't know what else these people watching. So a lot of these parents had wild ideas, you know what I'm saying, about what they let their children do and not do and blah, blah, blah. Some of these kids was dumb as hell. There's just no other way to put it. And it's not that anything was wrong with the children. It's just they were exposed to a very narrow bit of information that is very irrelevant, unimportant, and potentially dangerous to the child long term. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not watching smart, intelligent, brain developing things with lots of bright colors to spark. Why do you think the children's shows got to have the bright colors? It's because those bright colors activate certain spaces in their brain and all that. So those things is for brain development. You can't have 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds that know exactly what happened with Tyreek and, they know the whole last power, but they don't know nothing about no school. They don't know their alphabet. They don't know how to, no, that's not how we, so I learned, so I wanted to learn about learning and, help at the same time with the children the short while we had the school. But then long term, just help connect me a little bit more with my children and be more relaxed in how I govern my babies, you know what I'm saying, and just allow them to be themselves a little bit more, but just put my cheat codes in there, because children got to be children, but you just add your little jewels in there so that, because life is a series of decision making. So teaching your children is not about being overbearing. It's just about putting the jewel. So when the decision time to make, they'll have another set of information to pull from, you know what I'm saying, to make that decision. So, but that's what really got me into it, you know what I'm saying, having those children and seeing the results of just small little changes. What happens when a child eats this for breakfast? And not what happens like I'm going to read in a book or I'm going to do this or that. No. In real time. We're going to feed these kids. We're going to allow these kids to come in here with Pepsi, hot Cheetos. We're going to have them come in with Pepsis and hot Cheetos and, long plastic bags with them little balls, 6 slits and all this other shit. We're going to let them come in here with that. We're going to see what happens. And then we're going to watch how strong their mind is, their attention span, their ability to sit still without movement. Like just, how much of this is going on? Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or touching the person right next to them. Just how much of that actually has to happen when they eat those crazy things in the morning versus 2 bananas, and some water.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe if you big budget, you know what I'm saying? 2 bananas, coconut water, raw coconut water. If you ain't got the $4 to afford the right coconut water, don't get any coconut water, because the
Right.
cheap Pico for $1.07, that's not good coconut water. That is, coconut water can't sit on the shelf, people. So any coconut water that's on the shelf is not good for you. That's not even really coconut water. Coconut goes rancid super fast.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's no coconut water that can just be on the shelves. I was like, yo, this is amazing. And then I turned the bottle of coconut water around. It was like made by Coca-Cola. I was like, there we go.
There you go. There you go.
Yep. Coca-Cola and Pepsi also are in the coconut water business. So you want to get raw coconut water. The potassium in the bananas. First of all, sodium and potassium have a very particular relationship to your
sodium potassium
chemistry.
pump. Mm-hmm.
That relationship, without getting into the specifics, Marv like to get, but yes, just to keep it super simple for the parents out there, potassium and sodium have a very, very basic, special, foundational relationship to how your body produces energy, sustainable energy. You know what I'm saying? Sustainable energy is the cornerstone to your child's learning and attention and being able to sit still. Right. So this is why some people, they see my kids, they be like, man, you bring your kids everywhere. They just sit down. I'm like, they're not really special. I'm not doing anything special. Just they haven't eaten all that crazy, and they have eaten some of it, but just not probably as much as people allow, But so, just basic relationship, potassium, sodium. And the problem with it is, like, in the Black community, it's always high blood pressure, avoid sodium, high blood pressure. You're not supposed to avoid sodium. You need sodium. The blacker you are, the more sodium you need. Don't be fooled. The problem is that, again, sodium, potassium have a very special relationship. And that relationship requires that your body have 3 to 5 times as much potassium as sodium in order for your body to be in balance. You have to have 3 to 5 times as much potassium in your daily diet as sodium in order for your body to be in balance. Again, you have to have 3 to 5 times the amount of sodium to potassium, to sodium in your body. So for every 1 little grain of salt, you need to have 3 or 5 little tiny grains of potassium. You know what I'm saying? I want to say this repetitively and different ways so it sticks.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the single most dangerous thing to get wrong in the everyday diet, which is the reason why this single one thing that I said could be worth $1 million. Send a Cash App, $ Minister Enqi for that. That's worth $1 million alone. You know what I'm saying? Because the heart issues is still the number 1 cause of death. The brain right there battling to be number 1, but it's still heart. And that right there is the number 1. Remember this, right? And I know that there's also people that are mad at me because I said learning about the body being electric is elementary. And that's the truth, because a lot of you think you learned a little something. Now you're selling little herbs and you think you out of being a student. No, the body being electric is just level 1. That's why in Kemet, they dealt with the Ba, the Ka, the Aku, like it was levels, there's levels to this. You know what I'm saying? You from Philly, Marv, you gotta let these folks know it's levels to this. Learning that the body
levels to it.
Is only about the gross, dense physical matter.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to get to the light part, the luminous part. That's where the soul and the spirit, that's where that interaction takes place.
That's when the shape takes hold.
But on the basic level, your body, we understand, thanks to Dr. Sebi, thanks to Robert Becker, right? Depending on what school you come from, we understand that the body's electric. Well, understanding that the body's electric, you need to understand that the basic spark that keeps that electricity running and not shorting out is the relationship of potassium to sodium, and the ability for you to get in 3 to 5 times as much potassium as you get in sodium, because you need 3 to 5 times as much potassium as you do sodium every day for your body to maintain the proper wattage throughout the day. If you should start getting in more sodium than potassium, you are slowly killing the electrical machinery that is the thing that animates your body. You're slowly destroying it. And that's the number one thing that you probably should look for when you read the ingredients label. Because a lot of people, and here's the problem that I have with a lot of these other fake healers online, they, that be watching just saying trendy things to get people to come to their page and buy their products or whatever, because they remixing, but they don't really understand, again, application. It's one thing to have information, but until you've been in the trenches, you don't have application. You don't have wisdom. You just got knowledge. It's got to be refined. You know what I'm saying? So
get my finger in the right spot.
You have to have 3 to 5 times as much potassium daily as you have sodium. So now, banana is a cheat code. Banana's a cheat code because some bananas have maybe like a 50 to 1 ratio or 100 to 1 ratio of potassium to sodium. Right. So bananas become, and most natural foods all have a higher ratio of potassium to sodium. Right. One of the most dangerous things about processed food is that they are all flipped. All your processed food is flipped. All your processed food is flipped. All your processed food, the ratios are flipped. So you might be listening to these fly-by-night herbalists. They're a little younger. You might like the personality. They say king. They don't say nigga. They don't cuss as much as Enqi. They sound like they read more books than Enqi and all this other shit. But they telling you, oh, read the label to your food. But they're not telling you how to read the label to the food. You look at the label, you go, oh, well, okay, I seen this amount of protein, this amount of sugar, this amount of fats, this amount of that. But you don't know what that means. You don't know to read the amount of sodium and compare it to the amount of potassium. You just checking to see how much sodium is there, but you don't know where the ratios are. You don't know that when you're reading the label and you see how much sugar's in there, you need to compare the amount of sugar in your thing to how much fiber is in your thing, because that's where the ratio is. Your body requires sugar. Even a diabetic needs sugar. Everybody needs sugar. It's about how much sugar you got in your body, what you consume the sugar with. How's that sugar packaged? Is it packaged with pigment and fiber? Or is it stripped of pigment and fiber and vitamins and minerals and just some sugar. Processed sugar? You know what I'm saying? So it's about reading the label and understanding the ratios, right? If you see fat is in there, what type of fat? What's the ratio in that fat of omega-3 to omega-6? What is that? What you gotta be able to see deeper into this information. And now, of course, my healers, they watching this shit right here like, ooh, damn, I gotta start doing this shit. I still ain't gonna say your name though, Enqi, and reference you, but I'm definitely stealing all this shit you saying on Marv page right now. Fuck this shit. Tomorrow morning, I will be teaching my people about reading the label properly. After I teach myself what the fuck Enqi saying about this sugar, because I got to study what the fuck is he said. There's more sodium type goop, the sodium potassium ratio. Or you could just silently join the Patreon, patreon.com/Dr. Enqi, where you'll have infinite amounts of material to steal. Your business will keep on growing. You have tons of shit to steal because it's always going to be new insight and information there coming from me, people around me, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? Me, people around me, friends, family, you know. And yes, you have to be a paying member of the Patreon, but no, you do not have to be a paying member to join the biochemistry school.
Information's up on the screen for y'all who need to see it.
Wait, you didn't have that ready right there to hit the pull.
Oh, I got a few things that was ready already. Like we talked about the yeah.
Hold on. Here we go. Let me show you this. Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on.
You have to have in your big skull the understanding of.
Hold on. Stop that. So you can see what I'm sharing. I'm trying to share this thing here. Can you see it?
All right, I'm gonna switch over. There you go. Shit.
You see it?
Yep.
Now, for us to eat, you have to have in your big skull the understanding of biochemistry.
Wait, hold on. The sound
you
ain't
have
right.
to have the understanding of biochemistry. The OG. I'm mad I didn't see him when he was in Philly. Heard it was dramatic too.
It's always dramatic though, because that's what you do.
That was when he was like 60 something days into his fast, and he and Mr. G had to get him straight.
Nah, the best joint to see was the joint in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
It was a movie. It was a movie. Celebs was there. It was a movie. It was like 500 people that showed up with no tickets just to stay out front. Like it was a street. Like it was crazy. Atlanta's a beautiful place.
Now, for us to eat, you have to have in your big skull.
Now see, look, this is another one of those things that I guess I gotta switch back and forth. See, this is another one of those things that the Sebi community be getting mad with me on. And you know, the craziest thing about the Sebi community, even a lot of the Sebi family, the children and this and that, they get mad with me when I say certain things, but they know that I'm the number one defender of Dr. Sebi and his legacy. So they out reaping the benefit of the work that I've been putting in all these years, making sure that the people that have put a lot of money and time into trying to make him look like he didn't know what he was talking about or that he was a goofball, you know, keeping them at bay and keeping them in line. You know, so I be having to remind folks they got to respect the wolf. You know what I'm saying? Because it's good to have a wolf around to protect the house. But if the steaks don't come out for the wolf might come in the house. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure you feed the dog. I got to remind my children all the time, like our Rottweiler is a beautiful Rottweiler. She's very well trained. I put her through school immediately as soon as I got her. But I never let them forget for 1 second that is a, you know, wolf. Dogs are, you know, like little wolves. You know what I'm saying? Like they come from, you gotta be mindful. But this is one of those things that I'll say, like, I was inspired by Dr. Sebi to say something or do something or study something. And they'll get upset with me. Like when I said if Dr. Sebi was still alive, he would be studying melanin right now. They all got upset and was like, oh, Enqi, you know. And then I put the video out breaking down how resonance, which is the number one thing Dr. Sebi talks about, is the actual process that your cells use to create melanin. So it's not possible that if Sebi was alive that he wouldn't be studying that because all his science leads that way. But most of these people aren't researchers themselves, so they don't understand how a concept that you're dealing with drives how you study. You don't, when you study in a thing that you're passionate about, it's not like you following a list. You're studying and something, like you might get a book, 10 chapters. In the 7th chapter of that book, that author is going to say something so crazy or so inspiring that made you go put that book down and immediately go buy 3 other books. Now you in them books, and then have, you know, like you're on a quest, you know, so if he was still alive, he would be studying carbon, he was studying resonance. The resonance of carbon in your body is the entire story of your metabolism and your pigment system. So again, just like they got mad when I said that, they got mad with me. You know, I said, oh, well, I was inspired to do the free, you know, the biochemistry school by Sebi. Oh, well, no. Sebi said he don't read books. And how you going to say you was inspired to make a school by somebody that said they don't read books? You obviously didn't know. And that's right. You never met Dr. Sebi, and you ain't really his son and his cousin and his nephew and da-da-da. And I got something from the grandkid, and the grandson got the 279 minerals in the sea morning. I'm like, that's fine. But you know what I really got? I really got years out here healing people. I really got real certifications to say when I'm talking about naturopathic healing, I'm certified to say that. When I talk about nutrition, I'm certified to say that. When I talk about even my dog nutrition, I'm certified for pet nutrition, cats and dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like I know what the fuck I'm talking about, book-wise and then application-wise. So I wouldn't leave myself vulnerable to just say something crazy, especially when I don't have to. Why would I need to say Dr. Sebi inspired me to create a biochemistry school for people if that's not the case? He's dead and gone. Why would I need to say that? To you know, that doesn't make any sense. And why would these people and why would these people that keep listening to his lectures and keep hearing him say he was an engineer why would they think that he's dumb? Like that fucks me up. Like with the Egyptians, they know we built the pyramids, but then you don't credit them for understanding mathematics. I'm like, what? You know, the pyramids is aligned to the stars, but we don't credit them with understanding light. I'm like, how? He can't be an engineer and be a dummy? Because he said he didn't read books doesn't mean that he's not highly refined still. That's what he's trying to explain, is that his wisdom didn't come through the acquisition, you know, just words. He was studying application. That's the old school way of doing things. People trained on the job. So you didn't need to read a whole bunch of books on how to do it because you was going to get the tools and follow behind the master who knew how to get it. And so you're going to watch and you're going to see and then you're going to do. And he tells you in his story, he was sick and he went to see the master. The master he met was a Mexican guy, and the Mexican guy healed him in a process which was a self-healing. He's like, do this, do that, do this, do that. So now by the time you go through your 100-day time and you heal yourself, now if there's people that's dealing with the diabetes that Dr. Sebi had or the impotence that he had, et cetera, well, shit, you know what to do because, you know, I just fed you the herbs. So here's the same ones, right? And I just showed you what not to eat and what to eat. So you good. Now you're not only healed, but now you have a potential blueprint to become spiritual and heal the world, or be an entrepreneur and get some money. You know, you can do whatever with this jewel I gave, because healing doesn't stop with your health. You know what I'm saying? Healing keeps going. Once you take the information and apply it, you've applied it. Now it's your living information. You see what I'm saying? Like if I take some information from Marv, like say Marv, give me a tip on my camera. Well, I just learned this from Marv. You know, I heard about this from Marv. Woo woo. But now once I play with that on my camera 2, 3, 4 times, and now I get to personalize it and I get to see how and this is how my room is though. So my lighting different. Well, now the settings is mine. Yep. So now I can share my settings and be like, well, you know, I got, you know, Marv taught me, but you know, this is where mine is at right here. So anyway, this is the clip that had inspired me back in the days when I seen, I was like, yeah, gonna fix that issue right there. You know what I'm saying? And it's not long, it's just a little clippy. But I felt like people need to hear it. Let me see. I'll rewind it so people can see the tutorial how to get on there after. But
now, for us to eat, you have to have in your big skull the understanding of biochemistry. But when we were here, we didn't have to know anything about biochemistry. When we were here, we had something to our advantage that we no longer have here. There were no flour. Those things didn't come from Africa. You see rice and beans and flour and cheese and meat and the starch that you eat, they all came from right here, from a laboratory. Now, for us to eat, you have to have in your big skull the understanding of biochemistry. But when we were here, we didn't have to know anything about biochemistry. Why? Because God doesn't make poisons.
woo. Woo. It's not possible for music to make poison. Think about that.
Right.
It's not possible for music to make poison. Okay, reset my mic.
So how they looking on the Thanksgiving death stats that we seem to talk about every year?
Oh, it's up. It's up. It's
as
up,
usual,
and
right?
it's up, and you know that along with, you can add COVID to the host of recurring infections. So there's a whole bunch of infections out there. It's not just herpes that people get that come back every months or every so many years. And now this, situation-demic is a part of that mix. So the first thing people have to understand, and this is actually ties kind of into the conversation we're going to have tonight, but a lot of this was why I put the Blue Magic together the way I did. You know what I'm saying? Because parents like me, I have to have my children, just for peace of mind, I got to know that we got all the nutrition in as we out going to the supermarket and this place and that place and this new virus hitting, that new variant hitting. Then you got the reports talking about certain vaccines is coming out of people as they're shedding, and it's vaccinating anybody around. So technically everybody's got all the vaccines mixing up. And some of that stuff is foolishness. A lot of that stuff could be, a lot of the stuff on the internet is foolishness. You know what I'm saying? But some of that stuff is real, and some of that is threatening. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing that you can really do for yourself, for your family, and don't forget your pets. That's what I'm saying. See, to me, that's sucker shit. Again, a person, homeboy's family, whatever, he eating top of the line, vegan, healthy shit. Kids eating Happy Meals. The dog is having kibbles and bits or pedigree. Like, bruh, if you on the frequency, the first thing you got to do, you can't even participate in nation building, champ, if you ain't nation building in your house. Don't even talk online. Like a lot of these niggas talking online, like, bro, turn off your mic. A lot of niggas building up followings. Turn off your videos, bro. You should be ashamed of yourself because you don't even got your babies on the program, bro. You don't even got your babies on the program. A lot of these people, think about like this. How many guys do you watch on the internet that you done seen for years on the internet and you don't see their kids? How you got thousands of hours of yourself online, and those thousands of hours of yourself online does not include your kids in there or conversations about your kids? How can you really be an active parent? I can't have thousands of hours anywhere without my fucking kids all in the mixture of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not possible. It's not possible for any other fucking active parent. Active parent, anything you do got to figure in them babies. Even if they just yelling and making noise in the background, somehow them babies is a part of your program. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, if I'm eating good, you know, the children, the missus, the puppies, the turtles, everybody got to have what they're supposed to have. You know what I'm saying? The best, you know, the best we can have. It don't make sense for everybody in your household to be loaded up. You know, and I was laughing while it was like 2020. It was real crazy and scary. People out there with 3 masks on, you know what I'm saying? But they walking their dog regular. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you do know you getting ready to take that dog back in the house. The dog gonna be licking you in the face and all that. Your dog ain't got no mask on. But you got on 7. People had on the big, crazy, like, walking their dog outside. Dog ain't got no mask on. And they getting ready to go inside the house, take the mask off, throw it on the floor, and put their bed. They going to get back on the couch with their dog or back in the bed with the dog. The dog going to lick their hands, their face, everything. And I'm like, no, that's not what we're going to do. So we need to make sure that we get just as much as nutrition in our body as we can. Period. So that way you give your body the best fighting chance that you can against the bacteria, the viruses, the 5G, whatever all of these things. That's why a lot of these things, to be honest, don't even make sense to discuss. Like, I don't like having a lot of extraneous conversations because they don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, why talk about chemtrails poisoning people? Doesn't make sense. The only real conversation is, how do we make the immune system and the metabolism strong enough to withstand any sort of chemtrail poisoning? You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is a new, this outbreak. Okay, it's a new outbreak. It's going to keep being new outbreaks. We live on a planet of fungus, and like, this is what the Earth is, a fungus virus. That's how it goes. RNA, DNA, it's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, the only thing you can do is make your immune system, your metabolism as strong as possible. And a lot of times money becomes an issue. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. Money becomes an issue. And that's a discussion we got to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, how much health can I afford? God damn it. Shit. How much health can go around in this motherfucker? Like, you know what I'm saying? And listen, people, see, that's what I'm saying. It's experience and wisdom. I've been doing this so long, I could hear what people not saying. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know what a person's really asking when they ask me, hey, Enqi, how long does your moss last, though? How long it lasts? I already know where they at with it. They're like, yo, I've been buying this $20 joint right here. Enqi, I want to try the Blue Magic. I mean, man, $65. That's a whole month of sea moss in my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want me to do that at one time? How long that's going to last me? You said it's concentrated. Maybe it'll stretch out. Maybe I can. And it will at first. When you first start using Blue Magic sea moss gel and you're not accustomed to it, one jar might last you like 10 years because it's going to be so much stronger. The smell when you open it, the bag when you open, like when you smell it, you're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna soon as you smell it, you're gonna be like, you're gonna go from thinking $65 expensive to you got a discount. You're gonna go from it's expensive to you got a discount because it's gonna smell like literally, I just ran along the side of the ocean and scooped up a jar of some thick ocean mud. And
you know what made me start thinking about that years ago? I used to watch Emeril Lagasse on the cooking channel, and he used to always talk about people's seasoning cabinet. Because I used to do that. I would go in the seasoning cabinet and I would be like, if I pick up cinnamon and I gotta damn near put my nose in it and snort the shit just to get the smell off of it, I'm like, this ain't gonna be
bro.
How much I gotta add to really have it in there,
bro?
Like,
and listen, that's the thing with going to the supermarket and you get the 99-cent cinnamon versus the cinnamon that's like $2.69. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
That 99-cent one, chances are it's going to be very low on flavor because what provides flavor is aromatic amino acids. Everything in your body has to be electric or magnetic or radiant to make sense. Aromatic amino acids not only, play a role in light and pigment, etc., but it's your whole smell system, your olfactory system. Remember, see, that's why y'all got to join the Patreon, because y'all don't even know why you have an olfactory system. So you got to get with Dr. Doc. Y'all fucking with the niggas that's remixing shit. And because these niggas, yo, check this out. How much of a bum are you? You taking my shit, stealing it, and creating a business off of it. And you not even reing up. You waiting for me to drop more free videos because you ain't paying for the membership on Patreon, but you making like, come on, family, stop this bullshit, okay? We got to get the real info. Okay. Now that's you thinking cinnamon is gonna help you with your blood sugar, no. That cinnamon right in there.
That ain't gonna do nothing.
Over time, it loses the aromaticity, the aromatic amino. And so you can just tell with a smell, just to make it simple and get rid of the science. The smell is telling you potency. It's not only telling you potency, it's telling you the what's happening with them aromatic amino. Everything is there. You know what I'm saying? So when you got them fresh joints and you can smell them through the jar, ooh,
that's what you want.
That's
turmeric. I bought 2 types of turmeric. One stains my hand, the other one don't.
Yep. Like saffron. Saffron is, you can go get saffron right now. Saffron actually, they saffron, the herb itself, has created, I think, the most multi-million-dollar corporations around it than any other single herb on the planet.
Is that the one where it's like just a few of the needles is like hundreds of dollars?
Yeah, to get a pound of saffron, the real high quality one is like maybe like 3,000-4,000. You know what I'm saying? And to get the extract, a pound of the extract, that shit might be like 10. Yeah. That shit might be like 10-20 bands or something crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Get your investment account involved.
But just a little pinch. This is what they do. They take a little pinch of saffron, the real raw shit, and they mix it with a whole bunch of salt and other cheap shit. And that saffron is so invigorating to your brain. That's often what they couple to high MSG. So they put the glutamate with the saffron, and the saffron will tickle your fancy while the glutamate, wreaks havoc. You know what I'm saying? But that saffron, your body love it. Your brain love it. It's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Y'all hear that, right?
Definitely make sure y'all support Marvin for bringing me on too, man. Me and Marvin need some money.
So I decided, I don't think I've done this as a stream, but I think I'm gonna do the stir fry, the multicolored stir fry for the and I'll give y'all a picture and you'll get to see me make it in real time because it is a process to it. All right, let's see. Let's share.
I don't know what happened, but something about stir fry made the Migos come into my mind. Dance with the in the nighttime. So I don't know. That's in the back of my mind playing now.
Shared the wrong damn screen. There we go. So you talk about
delicious
aromatics, color.
I could see it. That's just pure deliciousness.
Yep. And I'm gonna explain to y'all what keeps this. This is not the type of you it's cool, you gotta feed people real fast. You're not worried about presentation. I am worried about presentation. Is how I have fun. But there is a process. You can't throw all these things in the pot at one time and just start turning it. So you can't do it that way if you're going to get the color and the presentation to go with it. Like when people come by to visit me, there's a menu, there's a presentation. It's like you're looking at a cooking show. That's what separates me from my wife. when she cooks, she the type that can go in there, and if you got 5 items, she'll build something out of it. I'm not that swaggy. However, I know what I need, and I know how I'm gonna lay it out, and I know how I'm gonna present it. So I'm gonna make it look pretty, taste good, and be nutritious. I'm aiming for everything. Why? Because when we try and get people healthier, they got a lot of excuses. It don't look good. I don't know how healthy food got associated with blandness, as if seasonings are not allowed. But you know,
Yes.
those kinds of things. I got to get around those things. So if you guys go through my Instagram, you'll notice a lot of the food presentation I give, and I'm a photographer, so it helps. So the presentation
so basically this gonna be exclusive on Thanksgiving. Y'all don't want to miss this.
Yes, this will be exclusive on Thanksgiving. Look out for the alert. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the bell so you get the alert, because it'll be planned. It'll be planned either the Wednesday prior to Thanksgiving, or that morning is when you'll see the alert pop up that I'll be going live at a certain time. So that's how you'll know. And then what we were talking about earlier with the dual camera stuff, you'll see all that.
And I'm gonna have some exclusive sneak peek into what I'm gonna be talking about on the road with Killer Priest. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I got new jewels to share. That is a part of the American Healer journey. I know a lot of people like, you know, what happened with like what's going on. Everything is going on, like the facilitation of it. The documentary is out. It's all, but now we have to facilitate. We have to get people into the school so they can start learning and changing their lives and changing the lives of the people around them. We've got to do Q&As. We've got to get out there on the road and, you know, get this information to the masses. So that's what we're doing. And Killer Priest, shout out to him. He just sort of value of the information, sort of authenticity of the person presenting the information, and then also saw the need for the people to have that information in a timely fashion. And he just jumped on board. Shout out to him. Shout out to the Wu, because you know the Wu-Tang always been centered around a certain type of information. Like they always kept the roots of hip hop, like back to the essence where it was about having a system of communication, city to city. Like the kids now, they don't realize what the world was like pre-internet. But pre-internet, you had no idea what was going on just another neighborhood over, let alone another city over, you know, unless you got on the phone with somebody from that place. And back then, phones had wires and they was built onto walls. So it wasn't on your pocket constantly updating you with IG and the news and this and that. It was, you know, it wasn't this universe. You know what I'm saying?
That was back when if you had to use the phone on the street, you could smell the breath of the last person using it.
Oh my God. Yo, let me tell you something. I think that the AIDS thing was done by a phone company. Remember when people was just about to stop using payphones because the cell phones was really picking up, and then it was like a scare in New York where they was putting AIDS needles in the receiver to the phone.
And
so when you put it, so you put it to your head, and then you get pricked by the needle, and then you be positive for HIV. You know what I'm saying? And then they wonder why when we grow up in New York, like we come out of New York with a certain type of aggression. Like everything is fucking dangerous here. The people don't like you. You pick up a phone, the motherfuckers dripped AIDS on the motherfucker. Like shit.
Yeah. That is true.
Make it out of this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? God damn it. You know what I'm saying? You
That's
make it out of there
alive.
alive. You can USA if you make it out of there alive. You know what I'm saying? But man. So anyway, Marv, I appreciate you for having me for the warm up. Listen, Thanksgiving coming in a couple days. Tonight, though, we're doing an exclusive on the how do I want to phrase the diabetes herbs, specifically from the Dr. Sebi Pantheon. That's the focus I want to that we're gonna go through tonight. We're gonna go through the herbs from the Dr. Sebi Pantheon in reference to them being used for diabetes, because when you go through Sebi's information, honestly, it's very difficult. No, we're going to be on YouTube. We're going to be on American Healer YouTube page tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, this will be public. So it will also be on Patreon, but it's going to be on American Healer YouTube page. You know what I'm saying? But when you go back and search those Dr. Sebi lectures, they don't really tell you how to do much. You know what I'm saying? They just tell you to go purchase the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like he'd be like, well, if you ask him about low iron, he'll tell you a story about low iron, and then he'll tell you somebody that sells his iron compound. Like, go over there and get the Bienzo. Yeah, that's how you fix iron. By purchasing the thing right there, right there, take that take that every day. No more iron problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's not like, it's not right. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that stuff inspired me to fill in the blanks. I'm like, hold on, I'm not comfortable with that. I need to know what is it in that herb exactly that is being received by which part of my body's what, and where is it going from there, and how is something actually, you know,
urban nerds, baby. Urban nerds.
Yeah,
urban nerds.
So
that's what we are, urban nerds out here.
So we'll be going into a basic, well, actually basic to advanced. We'll be going into a conversation about that though, because when you look up the herbs, also it's really like you don't really have him authentically explaining to you about the herbs for the diabetes. You got different websites where different people are saying, you know, groupings. Like if you go to this one website, and I know only from firsthand experience, I've been to all these goddamn fig tree, this one, that one, I've been all this shit. So, and the affiliates, I'd have been to, you know, come on, I'd have been around, you know what I'm saying? So, and I spend money everywhere. Everybody that sells anything, now I done bought some of these shit, a little bit or a lot, but I done supported everybody. Because I'm a part of the community, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in it before I was even, you know what I'm saying? So, but you go to different websites, you'd be like, oh, we got the authentic Dr. Sebi herbs. First of all, low key, there's really no such fucking thing as Dr. Sebi herbs. Let's just say that. But I use the term because I get how to communicate. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Sebi used to say all the time, there's no such thing as Dr. Sebi herbs. These come from the jungle. These come from my mama. These for all black people, blah, blah, blah. He say that in every fucking lecture, but somehow people leave the lecture and go, those are Dr. Sebi herbs, even though he just told you something else. Anyway. But you go to different websites and they have them grouped differently. And they might be like, these are the alkalizing ones, or these are the detoxing ones, or these are for chelation. And this is, you know, so you don't really get this herb right here is for diabetes. And this is how this one works. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go through maybe the top 5 to 10 herbs that are specific to diabetes, which is, you know, my specialty and what I focus on bringing to the people. So I want to give people that.
Around what time?
Probably 8 o'clock, I think. If
that
Carly
it's almost food time for me. So
right. We got to get on up out of here right now, and I got to get everybody together before that moment because I don't know how long that's gonna go. So I got to make sure Ocean is fed and listen, people.
Well, family, thanks for coming out.
Listen, I did not fully remember how much exercise a Rottweiler actually required. Like when you have memories, the longer the memory, you know, fades, the bad parts is the parts that fade first. You know what I'm saying? So you start to remember just the good parts of a relationship after time goes by. That's why they say time heals. And yeah, so I forgot the work because my dad bred Rottweilers when I was a kid. So I never knew. Well, I had one or two other little dogs around, but as far as the family, it was Rottweilers or death. You know what I'm saying? So we always had Rottweilers around. But I forgot how much fucking exercise these dogs require. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to say this for the people at home, because a lot of people, they see me with mine now, they getting interested, like, damn, I want to get me a dog, whatever, or maybe want to get a Rottweiler. Let me say this. 95% of these Rottweiler kennels, they have terrible Rottweilers. Period. I know, because like I said, I just got a little puppy. It's 5 minutes. But what I'm saying is I learned from my father as a kid. My father always had Rottweilers. There's not a day that I think my dad put our last Rottweiler to sleep when I was in high school, maybe. So my entire childhood, Rottweilers fucking everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He liked to have them at every house. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that he was even cool with, you getting a Rottweiler. You have to make sure one is at your house. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't remember how much exercise these dogs require.
We grew up with a Doberman.
Woo! Dobermans require a lot of exercise.
Plenty of running. They body built for it too, like greyhounds. They body built for it.
Bruh, or they could lose their fucking minds in your house. You know what I'm saying?
I did enjoy when you walk in the house, they do that lapping thing. They run to the kitchen, run back to you, run to the kitchen, run back to you. They be, folding up the carpet and shit when they slide.
No, that's called zoomies. That's not a good thing, Marv.
We say that when it's the cat.
No, it's zoomies for canine. Well, you know that. Here's the thing that I learned. Cats and dogs are actually one species. Now they different, but they originate. You know how they try to say, there's how they say people and monkeys. We have what they say, we got a shared ancestor.
Yeah.
No, but that's not what they say. What they say exactly though?
That sounded familiar when you said it.
Shared ancestor. No, it's something else ancestor. But anyway, the dogs and the cats, they have a shared ancestor. And even crazier fact is that no other languages reflect that except cuneiform or the Sumerian language. Because in the Sumerian language, they bridged the gap at the lion. The lion was called the great dog because they
that's that crazy picture we would get where it looked like it had curly hair and the long fangs. Is that where the crazy picture came from?
No,
not that one.
No, it just
was like
dog,
an Aztec picture or something.
No, the dog was the number one animal. Like the dogs, we don't have this history. It's a whole history of dogs that's like.
Oh, he said common ancestry.
Common ancestor. Boom.
Yeah, Zai
common ancestor. That's the term. But it's a whole history of the dogs that's secret, and that's because for a long time, dogs was like the nuclear weapons of Earth. Dogs was the nuclear weapons of Earth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
while you on the point.
Wait, look. Until we actually got no. I don't want to leave with that soundbite. They think I'm crazy. Until we got certain types of weapons, the most dangerous army was always the army that had the most trained dogs. Every time an army won, going back to Alexander the Great, going to how Africa conquered Europe, they came with elephants. It was always the animals. The reason why Hitler was so dangerous is because Hitler had anywhere from 50 to 100,000 trained German Shepherds, Rottweilers, and Dobermans as a part of his army. And that's one of the things that the United States learned from Germany. And then we upgraded our entire canine everything post-war with Germany. And so now you see the dogs everywhere here. All the patrol cars, airports, everywhere. But yeah. So now and then the future is that dogs are going to be working in hospitals.
Yeah.
So dogs can perform your, certain types of biochemical and neurochemical examinations, non-invasive. So you don't need to use a needle to measure your blood sugar. You could train your dog and your dog will always let you know when your blood sugar go low. You don't have to worry about using a machine to measure if you're getting ready to have a seizure or if your son is getting ready to have a seizure or not. You can get a dog, train your dog, and then your dog will let you know right before your child has a seizure every time your child about to have a seizure. So the dog shit is a whole nother space that niggas don't even understand, but dogs are comedic science. Mm-hmm. See, we was lied to and led to believe that before there was a human face on the Sphinx, there was a face of a lion.
Right.
That doesn't make sense because in every comedic documentation, the god of death is a dog. The god of death and rebirth is a dog. And before Osiris became known as the god responsible for that resurrection, you had Kepra and Anubis, or Anpu, and most of what we have shows that Anpu or Anubis was the number one deity for all of Kemet. And that's one of the things that's covered up and not really shared with us. You know what I'm saying? And it's a whole...
You know what you made me think of? And I know this is a major sidebar, but it's when we were young. Around when Mortal Kombat 3 came out, they had a game called War Gods. And Anubis was on that joint.
Bro, listen, the most important rituals in all of comedic science is performed by Anubis. Mm-hmm. Nobody else.
Right.
Anubis. You know what I'm saying? When you come to way into the heart ceremony, you got to deal with Anubis. That's the most important ceremony in Kemet. Open to the mouth ceremony, maybe secondary, but no. Way into the heart ceremony is number one. You got to go see Anubis. The ancient rite or ritual that's the most important in all of Kemet is the resurrection of Osiris. So there wouldn't even be a resurrection of Osiris if there wasn't Anubis, because it was Anubis that helped Isis find his body parts and then put them back together again to create Horus from Bane Jadet. So Anubis is we don't understand this shit. And then even when we go to the Greek philosophers, when they wrote about Egypt, one of the words that they used to describe Egypt, one of the terms that they used, not only did they refer to us by our skin color, because people refer to things, you got to use common sense. People use words to describe things for things that make it different from they self. So if you're white and you're born in a white place and you only see white people, quote unquote, when you see a black person, you go, oh, wow, that person's black, just because it's different. So you mark them by what's different. One of the things that the people of Kemet was marked by was their belief system. They was called the people of the dog, or the dog people, by the Greeks. So this is something that's totally separate from the Dogon people and that whole conversation and relationship. So there's an entirely hidden history that even all the Jordan Maxwell, David Icke, Illuminati stories with all the remix niggas and all these goofy, like, they don't know none of this. You know what I'm saying? It's only one white guy out there who I think the haters then probably overwhelmed him and beat his channel down, but he was out there fighting in the YouTube streets trying to get people to understand that the Sphinx was built for Anpu or Anubis, and but outside of that, and even with him, it was just that it wasn't contextual to colonialism and how the invaders came in from the clans into Sumer, and Sumer was a dog place. Like, again, it was a dog culture. Dogs is what really civilized this world. So when you go to Sumer, they got a pantheon of gods. The god of healing is a woman. Her name is Bow Wow. Duh. Bow Wow, right? We see how that translated over time. But the goddess of healing in Sumer, in the oldest writings on earth, her name is Bow Wow. Now, her partner is not a human. Her partner is a ancient mastiff or molasses type dog, which is the parent of the Rottweilers. And that was how she did all of her quote unquote healing magic. But like I said, nowadays we know that dogs can actually smell what's going on in your biochemistry and neurochemistry. So they could predict blood sugar changes, seizures, heart attacks, the microbiome of the dog by some studies is 10 to 100 times larger than ours. So just by the dog coming around, it automatically begins to upgrade your microbiome, like a surgery without touching you. Just by having the dog next to you, it's automatically upgrading your microbiome, improving your immune system. So a dog just being in your house can help you right now with all these variants and all kind of crazy shit floating around. And he's like, Enqi, why you get a puppy right now? I'm like, shit, I need my household to be as robust as possible right now. So I need me a microbiome machine from God called a doggy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what that is. Like, literally, like a dog is like what the dialysis machine is for your kidney, but the dog is like that for your microbiome. You know what I'm saying? So the dog is like a free microbiome dialysis. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just play with your dog for a little while, upgrade your whole microbiome. Whoop, you ain't had to buy no expensive ass goofy ass probiotic, none of that. You got your puppy. Anyway, I got to get up out of here. Vetting process for dogs. Google.
I was gonna say you did a live stream on that.
But not only that,
remember which one?
No, yeah. Just come into the show tonight. Go to American Healer on YouTube. I'll be live in a few. I got to get up here so I can take care of my babies, but I'll be live in a few and bring that question over there. I would love to answer that question because that is the number one question right there. To know how breeders categorize dogs. You know what I'm saying? When a breeder has dogs, they have 4 categories of dogs. You got the pet, you got the working dogs, you got the breeding dogs, and then you got the keepers. You know what I'm saying? So when a breeder has dogs, the puppies are gonna fit into those 4 categories, and based on what category the puppy goes in, that determines how much they charge you to get the puppy, what you can do with the puppy, how long the puppy will even live, how well the puppy will behave, all that shit. So they put that, and it's in your contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you might only have partial rights to your dog. You might not even know. You buying this dog, take him to your house, feed him, clean up his shit and all that. You don't even fully own that goddamn dog. A lot of people don't know that. You might get partial rights to your dog. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, that's a good question. So anyway, peace to the family. Marv, thanks for having me. See you on Thanksgiving. Everybody tap back in with me at 8:00 on American Healer. And start watching MDR News, man. MDR News, I'm doing it daily so that we have daily news. Because a lot of people think they hip. I'm gonna end on this, but a lot of people think they hip. And I'm one of them. I got my children as little aggressive Nazi maniacs that G-check me all the time. You know, I'll be walking around thinking I'm smart. You know, I got all this Dr. Enqi mitochondria shit in my mind. So, they'll come and ask me some super regular common sense thing about the world. And I'm like, when did that happen? Dad, it's all over everywhere. Everybody know. I'm like, So you think you hip and up to date because you might know about this thing or that thing that you're passionate about. But the rest of the world that really governs the rest of your life is still happening every day. You need to be updated on that. You need to know what's going on with the politics before the goddamn gas prices do this and then the detergent like this. And you're like, well, damn, how this happened? Well, you voted for Biden. Right? We need to know when there's an outbreak, because there was an outbreak from a military facility where they was doing bio testing 5-6 months, before the situation. So, and that's not to say that they were linked. They could be, but they might not be. Conspiracy theories might be trash, but the outbreak or the leakage would have at least told you, hey, let me tighten up on my shit. Let me make sure I get my blue magic or my little green powder or whatever it is that your tighten up regimen is. Let me start going back to the gym. Like you would have just put it on like Kanye. You would have put your health on DEFCON, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You would have been on, you know, as opposed to just being relaxed, thinking everything cool and you about to hook up with your girl to go to the club. Nah, you might want to chill this weekend because at the club is where everything going to transmit super fast. You know what I'm saying? When you go to the nightclub, the nightlife is where viruses and bacteria thrive. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm out of here. I have to shut this shit down. I'll keep talking.
Catch you in a little bit. All right, family. Make sure y'all hit the like button and subscribe if you have not done that already. I will be back on here. You'll see an alert on Thanksgiving, but you'll get an alert either the day before or that morning telling you when I will be live on Thanksgiving to make the stir fry, talk some trash with y'all, wish y'all happy holidays and all that good stuff. Right, subscribe. Marvin Health and Arts is the Instagram page, Marvin Health and Arts. It's all connected with the @ symbol. That's where if anything happens to the YouTube channel or something goes wrong, you guys can go there to kind of figure out what's the deal, why are we not hearing from people and stuff like that. That's how you'll know. Dr. Enqi's page on YouTube now is American Healer. So make sure you subscribe to the American Healer page. And be aware, we're still there's a few events coming up in the near future for Urban Nerds. So keep an eye out for Urban Nerds. You know that page. We've got over 1,200, 1,300 subscribers on that one. And I know they've been waiting for some content. And one of our young urban nerds, I'm putting in a video game competition in early December. So there will be some content going on with that. And I'll probably be talking about Black Panther soon. So, all right, guys, thanks for coming out. Much love to y'all out there in the chat. Love it when y'all guys come in and hang out, ask your questions, and, you know, just lend an ear to what's going on in the world. So until next time, thank you guys for coming in to visit. I will catch you on the flip side.